لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
I'd like to know how much time I have. Much easier for me to know.
210.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على أشرف المخلوقين سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. I'd like to thank you again for having me over here with you, inshallah. It was very interesting that some college students he wants to talk about the Day of Judgment. I will be repeating this word, Yawm al-Qiyamah, okay. Yawm al-Qiyamah is the Day of Judgment. Usually people, they talk probably about different topics, and not everybody is very comfortable with talking about the Day of Judgment. Somehow, it's a scary thing. But actually, the Prophet ﷺ, he did remind us in many places and telling us, أكثروا من ذكر هادم اللذات. You should definitely remember the one who destroys all the pleasures, and that's death. Because once a person that is dying, and all his luxuries, all his pleasures, all his desires, everything is done, is finished. So you should remember هادم اللذات. You should remember that all the time. Not only that, you realize that in many places in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always bringing the iman of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and iman in the Day of Judgment, all the time. لِمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو اللَّهَ وَالْيَوْمَ الْآخِرِ. Those people that they have hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they have hope also on the Day of Judgment, in many places. Or like in the beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَمَا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. Always repeating the word of Qiyamah, repeating the word of Qiyamah, subhanAllah. Let me say that there is two types of Qiyamah. Qiyamah Sughra and Qiyamah Kubra. The small Qiyamah and the big Qiyamah. This question was asked to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he answered saying, إِذَا مَاتَ ابْنُ آدَمَ قَامَتْ قِيَامَتُهُ. Once the son of Adam, a human being, died, his Qiyamah started. And that's his first Qiyamah. Because once you die, you are definitely going to see where are you going to be? Either in the Jannah or in the Nar. Right away, once the person died. We will see that, subhanAllah. So we'll talk a little bit more about the first Qiyamah, inshallah. There is a beautiful hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We will go through that hadith just to understand how the first Qiyamah will happen, subhanAllah. Al-Barra ibn Azib narrated in a very long hadith, say, one time, خرجنا مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. We went out with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam في جنازة رجل من الأنصار. For the janazah, for the funeral, for a person, for a Ansari, a Sahabi from the Ansar. So we get to the qabr of that person. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he was sitting مستقبل القبلة, he was facing the Qibla, subhanallah, and we were all sitting around him, subhanallah. Then he said to all of them, استعيذوا بالله من عذاب القبر. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect you from the punishment of the qabr, of the grave, subhanallah. Then the story started. It's a story probably that will happen to all of us. Definitely it will happen to all of us. What's going to happen exactly? So he said, subhanallah, إن العبد المؤمن إذا كان في انقطاع من الدنيا وإقبال على الآخرة. Any kind of person, a human being, abd mu'min, a believer. So once now he is departing from this life, and he is now going to be welcomed in the hereafter, subhanallah. What happened exactly? Once a person starts feeling the death, he will realize that this is death. He will definitely realize that, subhanAllah. Then he said, and let me take also a few minutes to talk about this moment of death. We call it, the sakaratul maut, the moment of death. Most of the people, they got disturbed, they got scared. They don't know what to do. And then say, oh, I'm dying. I'm leaving everything behind me. My money, my account, my wife, my children, my business, my. It is that coming. So you don't know what to do. And then it doesn't come to your mind anything else, but only you're so scared. This is a human nature. You realize, I'm dying now. I cannot go back. In the other side, there are some people, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gave them the tabat. He gave them the tranquility, if you want. And it's the opposite. It's the opposite. They don't get disturbed. They don't get scared. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, يُثَبِّتُ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا بِالْقَوْلِ الثَّابِتِ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will give them the tabat. Let's just give some few examples about these people. The example of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he realized that the Malak of Maut came to him. And definitely he came to him. And Aisha narrated, radiallahu anha, narrated this hadith. So he was just raising his eyes up and his finger, and he was repeating this word. بَلِ الرَّفِيقُ الْأَعْلَى بَلِ الرَّفِيقُ الْأَعْلَى بَلِ الرَّفِيقُ الْأَعْلَى. I want to join my Lord. I want to join my Lord. I want to join my Lord. Actually, he was given the choice to stay alive in this life as a prophet, as a king, or to join Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But he chose to join Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because he knows what is there. It is much better than this dunya. So that's why Allah gave him the tabat. Another example, you may say that's a prophet. The example of Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu also, when he was dying, and Aisha radiallahu anha also was there, and she started crying and actually saying some poetry, some poems. So Abu Bakr, actually when a person is dying, we're supposed to comfort him. We're supposed to tell him, La ilaha illallah. We're supposed to tell him, don't be scared. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, is Rahim, is Rahman, has forgiveness, so don't worry about it. But at this moment, Abu Bakr, he is the one saying to Aisha, لا تقولي هكذا يا ابنتي. Don't say like this, oh my daughter. بل قولي, but say, وجاءت سكرة الموت بالحق ذلك ما كنت منه تحيد. But say, this is the sakra of maut, he's coming. You are always trying to avoid this, but now it's coming. So the tabat was to him at that moment. The example of Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anhu also, it is unique. We know that Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, he was actually for the prayer, and somebody, Majusi, he stabbed him from the back. So he fainted, because he didn't hit him only once, but many, many times to make sure that he's really gonna die. But anyway, after a while, Umar al-Khattab, he woke up. So the first thing that he said, هل صلى المسلمون? The first thing that he was concerned about at this moment, and he know that he is dying, and saying, did the Muslims offer their prayers? Tabat is given to this person. He was not scared. He knew what is happening, but with hope, also and fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The example of Ali ibn Abi Talib, the same, and so on. So he was going for Salatul Fajr, to lead the Fajr prayer, and then he was also killed. Anyway, I will close this with another statement with another person. He was not a Sahabi, but he was Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. He was actually the Khalifa in the time of the Umayyads, but he was such a very beautiful person that some of the people even called him the fifth Khalifa. It says in the story, subhanAllah, that the people were around him, and at that moment he told them, you can just leave. He told all his family, you just go. So once they left, and they were just listening to what's happening, you see, I can see some faces that I never saw before. This is not the faces of a human, and this is not the faces of jinn. So, with light. So these are the angels. And at that moment, his wife was entering, subhanAllah, to see him. What she found him? She found him reciting this ayah. تلك الدار الآخرة نجعلها للذين لا يريدون علوا في الأرض ولا فسادا والعاقبة للمتقين. That is الدار الآخرة, the beauty, the last one. We will give it to the people that they are not after corruption, they are not after arrogance, but the aqibah, the good ending, will be for the good people. This is how it ends with certain people. And that's what the hadith said. For a Abdul Mu'min, this is how it works. But exactly, we'll see the details in this hadith, subhanAllah. So he said, once a person is dying, he will see some angels or some faces, let's say. ملائكة من السماء بيض الوجوه كأن وجوههم الشمس. Their faces are so shiny, just like the sun. For every single person, this will happen. But for the Abdul Mu'min, the believer, subhanAllah. So they will sit a little bit far away from him, subhanAllah. And they have with them kafn wa hunut. Kafn is the clothes that, we wrap in the person, and when a person died, mostly it's white, should be white. And hunut is some kind of things that we also do to the person who passed away. And at that moment, then Malakul Maut will come, the angel of death, Azrael, subhanAllah. He will come close to him, ثُمَّ يَجْلِسُ عِنْدَ رَأْسِهِ. Then he will sit close to his head, subhanAllah. Then he will say, يَا أَيَّتُهَا النَّفْسُ الْمُطْمَئِنَّةِ ارْجِعِي إِلَىٰ رَبِّكِ رَاضِيَةً مَرْضِيَّةً. Now for the nafs al-mutma'inna, the good one. So the angels of that will say, يَا أَيَّتُهَا النَّفْسُ الْمُطْمَئِنَّةِ. Oh, this nafs that has tranquility, the good one, the beautiful one, you are going back to your Lord. Allah is the one who gave you this soul, Allah is taking it back, subhanAllah. So he will say, أُخْرُجِي إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرِضْوَانٍ. You come back from the body of that person to the forgiveness of Allah and to the rida, to the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَتَسِيلُ كَمَا تَسِيلُ الْقَطْرَةِ. So the soul will come out just like there is some water is leaking from somewhere. In that way, subhanAllah. فَيَأْخُذُهَا. Once the soul comes out, the angel of death will take it, subhanAllah. Now at that moment, فَلَا يَنْتَظِرُونَ إِلَّا طَرْفَةَ عَيْنٍ. The other angels that we were mentioning before, sitting all the way in the back, once the angel of death will take the soul, they will take it from him also. فَيَأْخُذُونَهَا. Subhanallah. Then they will take this soul up to the sama, to the heaven, subhanallah. So once they get there, in every single sama, in every single heaven, they will see some angels. They will meet some angels, subhanallah. And then they open the doors for them. They open the doors for them, subhanallah. So, and at that moment, that soul is giving such a beautiful smell that all those angels will ask, who is this person? Man fulan ibn fulan, who is this person? And they will call him with the best of his names. So you say, this is the name, this is a certain person. So they will give him salam, and they will bless him, and they will make dua for him. And the soul will be going up and up and up until the, subhanallah, reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So once it gets there, subhanallah, to at that certain level, subhanallah, the sama'u sabi'ah, the seventh heaven, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, اكتبوا كتاب عبدي في عليين. Write the book of my servant, of my slave in عليين. It's a daraja, it's a level, it's such a beautiful level. May Allah make all of us among these people. Then he will say, ثم يقال أعيدوه إلى الأرض. Then take him back to the earth. Take him back to the earth. So the angels again will be taking the soul back all the way to the earth, and then they will put it in the body again. فيسمع. At that moment, the person can hear the sound of the feet or the shoes of the people that they are, they brought him to the graveyard and they are leaving back, subhanallah. At that moment, subhanallah, two angels will come to him and they will start asking him. This is the questions of Nakir and Munkir. So they will ask him, Man Rabbuk, who is your Lord? For the people that Allah gave them the tabah. يثبت الله الذين آمنوا بالقول الثابت في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة. Allah will give them the tablet. They will know what to say. So he will say, Allah Rabbi, Allah is my Lord, subhanallah. So they will ask him other questions. ما دينك? What is your deen? He will say Islam. And he will say, وما ما عملك? Or ما هذا الرجل الذي بعث فيك? Or بعث فيكم? Who is this man that was sent to you? Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He was my messenger. So I'll ask you, what is your deeds? You say, كنت أقرأ القرآن. Let's say just an example. I used to read the Quran, I used to give the company of the Quran, and so on, so on, so on, all that, subhanAllah. فينادي منادي من السماء. You hear a sound from the heaven saying قد صدق عبدي. Indeed, my servant is saying the truth. فأفرشوه من الجنة وألبسوه من الجنة وأفتحوا له بابا إلى الجنة. Make his place where he's going to sleep a part of the Jannah and give him the clothes of the Jannah. Subhanallah. And open a door for him from the Jannah. So he will see the Jannah and he will enjoy the Jannah. And a person, رجل, subhanallah, the hadith says, رجل حسن الوجه حسن الثياب طيب الرائحة. A person with beautiful face, beautiful clothes, with very nice smell, he will tell him, أبشر بالذي يسرك. I'm giving you the good news of the things that you are really going to be happy with. So he will tell him, أبشر برضوان الله. It is the ridwan of Allah. It is the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he will tell him, هذا عملك. And he will ask him, he will tell him, who are you? He will ask this person with a beautiful face, beautiful smell, beautiful clothes. He say, who are you? Subhanallah. Because I see that your face is so beautiful. He will tell him, أنا عملك. I am your good deeds. I am your good deeds. I'm coming over here with you and I'm going to give you company. Subhanallah. So, and then he will tell him, look, and he will open a door for him and he will tell him, that was your place in the hellfire. But because of your good deeds, this is your place in the Jannah. So he will open a door for Jannah. So he will see it so beautiful. So he will say, Ya Rabbi, aqim as-sa'a. He will say, oh my Lord, I want you, I want the Qiyamah to start right now. Because now he knows where he is going to be, subhanAllah. This is one part, which is all of us who would love to be that kind of person. On the other side, the other person who is not a believer, he was a bad person. He's a zalim, an unjust, an unfair person. Same thing will happen to him. And we'll go again over the hadith, subhanAllah. So he will tell him, 8 angels, they look very harsh, very tough. Their faces are so dark. And they have with them some kind of clothes, but it's like made of fire. They will also sit far away from him and they are just looking at him. And then the angel of death, Azrael, will come and he will sit close to his head. But what he will say, he will try to pull his soul out. Now this person, he knows what he was doing. So the soul of a non-believer, it doesn't work in that way. It says, it goes in the whole body of the person, in his eyes, in his hands, and everywhere. It doesn't want to come out. The soul knows what is waiting for it. So what he did, so فَيَنْتَزِعَ, he would put it very hard, in such a way. Say, أُخْرُجِي, come out, أَيَّتُهَا النَّفْسُ الْخَبِيثَ, such is bad soul, إِلَى غَضَبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ, to an anger and a curse from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the same thing again will happen. Once the soul will come, those angels, they will take it and they will try to take it out. In every single place, whenever single sama, they will find all the doors closed. لا تفتح لهم أبواب السماء. They knock the door, nobody wants to open the doors. Not only that, in the riwayah, the narration of this hadith say, those angels, they will ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, don't make this soul come in through us or through our doors, subhanallah. And by any place that soul will be passing with such a bad smell, the people say, who is this person? And they will curse him and curse him and curse him, until the soul goes up all the way to the 7th heaven. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also, He will say about that person, He will call him with the worst of His names. And then He will say to him, subhanallah, take him to Sijjin. It is a level in the hellfire. Take him back. I don't want him. The hadith says also that the angels will let him go down. Like they were carrying the soul and they will let the soul go down. So he will go with that speed all the way from the 7th heaven, all the way to that body, to the person. At that moment, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he recited the ayah saying, وَمَنْ يُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ فَكَأَنَّمَا خَرَّ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ فَتَخَطَّفُهُ الطَّيْرُ أَوْ تَهْوِي بِهِ الرِّيحُ فِي مَكَانٍ صَحِيقٍ. It's like it's falling all the way from the 7th heaven, all the way to the body, to that person. So again, the soul goes to the body of that person. And he could also hear the sound of the feet or the shoes of the people that they brought him, subhanAllah, there. So at that moment, the two angels will come to him and start asking him the same questions. Man Rabbuk? Who's your Lord? That person now is confused, he's disturbed, he's scared, he's nervous. What? Just like the hadith, he doesn't understand. He say, I don't know. They ask him, what's your deen? What are you talking about? I don't know. Who is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam? I don't know. So they will tell him, La darayta wa la sami'ta. You should not hear, you should not even know. And then what it says, they will start hitting him. Subhanallah. Then those angels that they were sitting there, another angel will come with such an ugly face, with such an ugly smell. He will come to him and he will tell him, let me show you. So he will show him his place in the Jannah, who's supposed to be. Say, that's supposed to be your place. But because of your deeds, this is going to be your place, the hellfire. So who are you? You're such, this and that. He say, I am your deeds, and this is what you deserve. And they will open a door for him from the hellfire. Subhanallah. This is actually what happened in the qabr. And it will continue like that. Moving a little bit. I said this is what we call al-qiyamatu as-sughra, the first qiyamah. And every single person, you will be going through this qiyamah, subhanallah. Now the qiyamah al-kubra. In the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, narrated by Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu wa arda, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Israfil. He's the angel of the mountain, the sword. And from that day, he's just waiting for the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to blow in the sword, in the mountain. So then the qiyamah will start. So he will be given the order to blow in the sword, subhanallah. At that moment, everything will finish. Any people that they will remain at that time, they will die. Israfil, subhanallah, he will do that. At that moment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will call Azra'il, the angel of death. And he will tell him, Man baqi? Who is left? He will tell him, everybody is done except Baqita ant, al-hayyu alladhi la yamut. You the one, al-hayy, you will never die. وبقيت أنا, angel of death. وجبريل وميكائيل وإسرافيل وحملة العرش. And the angels who carry the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, فَلْيَمُتْ إِسْرَافِيل. Israfil will die. And he will tell him also, فَلْيَمُتْ جِبْرِيلُ وَمِيكَائِيل. Jibreel and Mikael also will die. Subhanallah. The angel will go, will take the soul of Jibreel and Mikael, and will come back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, telling him and asking him. Allah will ask him, Man baqi? Allah of course knows, but this is the hadith what it says. Say, بقيت أنت الحي الذي لا يموت. وبقيت أنا, and me, and حملة العرش. So Allah will order him, even the carrying of the arsh will die. Anyway, make it short. So we'll come to him and we'll tell him again in the last one, Man baqi? Who is left? Say, بقيت أنت الحي الذي لا يموت. You the one who doesn't die. وبقيت أنا, me, your slave. So Allah will tell him, أنت عبد من عبادي خلقتك لما رأيت. You are one of my servants. I created you for what you saw. فمت. You will die. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will repeat the same. Man baqi? Who is left? No answer. It says in the hadith, Allah will repeat this question. Man baqi? Man baqi? Man baqi? No answer. Then he will say, أين الملوك وأين أبناء الملوك? Where are the kings and where are their children? All the tughat, all the dictators, all the zalimin, anybody, everybody is finished. Right? So Allah will repeat this. أين الملوك? Where are they? They all finish. Like the ayah says, كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام. Everybody will finish, will die. Whatever your status. A good person, bad person, a rich man, a poor man, you have a high this or not, everybody will be done. Where? All under the ground. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again will repeat, Man baqi, man baqi. And he will repeat, subhanallah. Then Allah will answer to himself. Liman, he will ask this question. Liman al-mulku al-yawm. To whom is all the power, all the kingdom today? And nobody will answer. Allah will answer, Lillahi al-wahid al-qahhar. Everything belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now this is the moment that we call of the bat, right? It starts again with another nafkha, with another blow. So Allah will make Israfil coming back to life, and He will order him to blow again in the mountain. So he will blow. Again, the people will start coming back, subhanAllah. But that's one of the most horrible time for every single human being, except some people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will save them, Allah make us among them. At that moment, just like it says, the people will start coming out. But some people, they will be standing on their feet. Some people, they will be walking on their heads. Actually, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, once he narrated this hadith and he said that some people يُحْشَرُونَ عَلَى وُجُوهِهِمْ, on their faces. One of the Sahaba asked him how a person could walk on his face. He said, إِنَّ الَّذِي أَمْشَاهُمْ عَلَى أَرْجُلِهِمْ قَادِرٌ عَلَى أَنْ يُمَشِيهِمْ عَلى وُجُوهِهِمْ. The one who created them, and he was able to make them walking on their feet, he's able to make them walking on their faces. Subhanallah. And then he said on that day, subhanallah, and this is how the things will be, that the people will be hufatun urat. The people, they will be with no barefoot, no shoes, of course. Nobody cares about that. And no clothes. Actually, when Rasulullah said that, Aisha, his wife, radiallahu anhu, arda, asked him, يبعث الناس عراة. I mean, الرجال والنساء ينظرون إلى بعض. Men and women looking at each other and they have no clothes. Say, لا ليس هكذا يا ابنة الصديق. No, it's not like this. Oh, you, the daughter of Siddiq. The whole of that day, that day is so scary that nobody will think about looking to each other. The people have some other things that they're concerned about. They're not going to be concerned about anything like that, subhanAllah. Moving on. It says at that moment, now all the people are waiting. ثُمَّ تَدْنُ الشَّمْسُ مِنَ الْخَلَائِقِ. Then the sun will come very close to the people. In one hadith it says mil, probably a mile, right? A mile. Imagine the sun is coming so close to the heads of a human being, only a mile. فَيَعْرَقُ النَّاسِ. So the people will start sweating, sweat. You know, in the summer, how the people, but imagine on that day. فَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ, some of them, the sweat will come up to their ankles. And some up to their, subhanallah, up to their knees. And some say, وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَلْجِبُهُ الْعَرَقُ إِلْجَامًا. Some of them, the araq will come up to the top. At that moment, it's getting very scary, more and more, subhanallah. And the people will start saying, oh, talking to the angels, just tell your Lord to finish us. Just tell your Lord just to send us to the hellfire. But we cannot wait. Waiting, I'm saying, for hundreds and hundreds of years, people are just suffering like that, subhanallah. And that's why it says in the story, subhanallah, about the first ayah of Surah Al-Hajj, يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسُ اتَّقُوا رَبَّكُمْ إِنَّ زَلْزَلَةَ السَّاعَةِ لَشَيْءٌ عَظِيمٌ. O you, the people, fear the day of the earthquake, of the day of judgment. يَوْمَ تَرَوْنَهَا. On that day, when you see it, تَذْهَلُ كُلُّ مُرْضِعَةٍ عَمَّا أَرْضَعَتْ وَتَضَعُ كُلُّ ذَاتِ حَمْلٍ حَمْلَهَا وَتَرَى النَّاسَ سُكَارَى وَمَا هُمْ بِسُكَارَى وَلَكِنَّ عَذَابَ اللَّهِ شَدِيدٌ. On that day, تَذْهَلُ كُلُّ مُرْضِعَةٍ عَمَّا أَرْضَعَتْ. Every woman will not even care about the baby that she was breastfeeding, about her kids. But they're not drunk. وَلَكِنَّ عَذَابَ اللَّهِ شَدِيدٌ. It is only this punishment. It's so horrible. That's why the people are feeling like that, subhanAllah. People are waiting and waiting for hundreds of years. When I say this, there are some people that they are not going to suffer from that. There are a lot of people that they are not going to suffer from this. They will be saved. They will be saved from all this, subhanAllah. But moving on about this picture that I'm trying to describe. And I'm saying, because if I say that in 2-3 minutes, On that day, and I'm saying it's hundreds and hundreds of years that the people be waiting. At that moment, subhanAllah, then the people start running. They will go to Adam. Yeah, Adam, you are our father. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do something for us. Adam will say, Inna Rabbi qad ghadiba al-yawma ghadaban shadida. My Lord today is very, very angry, and I cannot do anything. So they leave him. They will go to Nuh alayhi salam, they will go to Ibrahim alayhi salam, they will go to Musa alayhi salam, and so on, and so on. And each one of them, he will say, Nafsi, Nafsi, only myself. Only myself. Nobody cares about anybody else. And that's what the ayah will say, subhanAllah. يَوْمَ يَفِرُّ الْمَرْءُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ وَأُمِّهِ وَأَبِيهِ وَصَاحِبَتِهِ وَبَنِيهِ. A person will run away from his brother, from his father, from his mother, from his children, from anybody else. Now we have this relation. You say, you know, I am here, I support you. But on that day, it is completely different. I'm saying even the mother doesn't care about the son, and even the brother doesn't care about his brother. Why? The adab is so horrible that the people cannot stand it. At that moment, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they will go to him and they will ask him, ask the Lord to save us or help us. So it says in the hadith, فَأَذْهَبُ حَتَّى أَخِرُّ أَمَامَ الْعَرْشِ. Rasulullah is saying, then I will go until I will go close to the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I fall down. For a while, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask him, okay, ارفع رأسك يا Muhammad. Yes, raise your hand and اسأل تعطى, and ask me and I will give you. Rasulullah said, فَيَفْتَحُ اللَّهُ عَلَيَّ بِمَحَامِدِ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me the tawfiq to say something so beautiful to praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Rasulullah will start asking him, Ummati, Ummati, Ummati. My nation, my nation, my nation. Actually, this is something very amazing about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that probably may build up this love for the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah said in one hadith, لِكُلِّ نَبِيٍّ دَعْوَةٌ مُسْتَجَابَةٌ استعجل بها في حياته. For every single prophet, he was given a chance to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for whatever he wants. So in all the prophets and messengers, they did ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They did. For example, Sulaiman asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rabbi habli, give me some kind of power, kingdom that is not given to anybody before me. And so on. Ibrahim alayhi salam said, Rabbi ij'al hadha al-balad aminan warzuq ahlahu min at-tamarat. So he did ask a blessing for that piece of land, which is Mecca al-Mukarram and around it, and for his children. But for the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, لِكُلِّ نَبِيٍّ دَعْوَةٌ مُسْتَجَابَةٌ. Every single person, he asked a da'wah, and you will be answered. But except me, I saved it. For my, what? لِأُمَّتِي. For my ummah. For my people. This is also shows the mercy and the beauty of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He did not say, I'm saving this for myself or for my children or for my brothers or for my sisters or for my father or for my uncle Abu Talib or for anybody else. But he said, I saved it for my ummah. By the way, probably all of us, just a reminder that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, just a couple of days before he passed away, when he was coming back from visiting the Shuhada of Uhud, he was actually crying. So some of the Sahaba asked him, ما يبكيك يا رسول الله? What makes you cry? He said, اشتقت لإخواني. I missed my brothers. So they said to him, أولسنا إخوانك يا رسول الله? Aren't we your brothers, O Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? He said, بل أنتم أصحابي. No, you are my companions. ولكن إخواني قوم يأتون من بعدي يؤمنون بي ولم يروني فأقرئوا مني عليهم السلام. No, but my brothers are some other people. They will be coming after me. They will believe in me, although they did not see me. So please, he said, from that day, say my salam to all of them from today, subhanAllah. Going back to the day of judgment, at that moment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will grant the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ash-shafa'ah. That Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he will talk on behalf of a lot of people to enter Jannah. Rasulullah at that moment, he will be around the place called Al-Hawd. Al-Hawd. Probably we heard that surah, Al-Kawthar, Inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar. So it's the Hawd of Kawthar, the fountain of Kawthar. He will be there, giving the people water to drink. And on that day, having a drink is something different, subhanAllah. So all the people, they will see Rasulullah and they will rush to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They can drink from his hand. It says, if you drink from that water of Kawthar, you will never get thirsty anymore, or anything. But at that moment, some people, they will be stopped from going to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We are from his ummah, but some angels, they will stop him. At that moment, Rasulullah will talk again on their behalf. هؤلاء من أمتي. These are the people from my ummah. Why you are stopping them? The angel will say, إِنَّكَ لَا تَدْرِي مَاذَا فَعَلُوا بَعْدَكَ. You don't know what these people they were doing after you. Yeah, they have the names of Muslims. They have the names of the followers. But they did not follow any of your sunnah. They did not follow any of your teaching. So, فَيُدَادُونَ. They will be rejected. They will be thrown away, subhanAllah. I'm saying about this part. In the other part, for the good people, from the very first day, they are not going to have any problems. They are not going to suffer anything. Just give an example of that. In one of the hadith say, حَوْلَ الْعَرْشِ مَنَابِرُ مِن نُور. Around the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is on the day of judgment. Some places where the people can see, but these are made of light around the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They will be offered for some people. And these people are not prophets and are not angels and are not from the shuhada and not from the awliya. But these are for what? For some special people. And then they named some people like them. Who are they? Who are these people? Subhanallah. In one of them, people that يَجْرُونَ فِي حَوَائِجِ النَّاسِ. They go to serve the people. They go to serve the people for no other interest, but only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. On the day when there's no shame and the people, they will be suffering, there will be some people that will have the shame from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anyway, going just further, on the same time, some people, they will be enjoying in Jannah. Jannah is levels also. Jannah is levels. And if we take the time to talk about every level, it is something beautiful, amazing, but it's very long. But just give you just a small example. Between each level of Jannah, from the first one to the second one, it's like a person is traveling for 100 years. So the first one is so beautiful, but when you go to the second one and the third one and so on, so it is something amazing that we cannot even describe. Actually, the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he describes Jannah, say, فيها ما لا عين رأت ولا أذن سمعت ولا خطر على قلب بشر. What is in the Jannah? It is something that nobody saw before, and you cannot see it in this life. Whatever you see, it's not Jannah. No, it's not. Nothing compared to Jannah. When you say, okay, I cannot see it, but probably somebody can tell me. Nobody can tell you. Nobody can describe it for you, because it's not like a human thing that we do have. Yes, you know that there's food, but there's a big difference between food and food. No. وَلَا خَطَرَ عَلَى قَلْبِ بَشَرٍ. Probably sometimes you start dreaming, you say, just thinking, probably this way and this way. So it's such, that's nothing comparing to what is in Jannah. That's nothing comparing to the Jannah. Actually, Rasulullah sallallahu mentioned in the hadith, say, if the people, they will know what is Jannah exactly, they cannot sleep. You know, when someone tells you about something and you start describing this and that and that and that, it has this and it has that, you cannot wait. I just want to go there. I can't pay any price for that. Just let me go. You know, and you are ready to, you know, borrow the money or whatever that, just want to go to that place. But Jannah is something unique. Something that you did not, nobody saw before. But who made it? It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anyway, when I was talking about Jannah, in the same time, I will say about the levels of Jannah and how we can get into the levels of Jannah. And I just say right now that we cannot describe it. We cannot describe it. But the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam tell us some clue about the Jannah. Something that we can just know about the Jannah. In one time, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, لَصَوْتُ أحدكم or لمكان صوت أحدكم في الجنة. You know, the place where someone put his stick, let's say, in Jannah, is bigger and wider and more beautiful than the dunya wa ma fiha, than the whole dunya. So now you can imagine Probably we cannot imagine how big, how huge, how beautiful is the Jannah. So that's how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam described it. In the same time, when you talk about the hellfire, the punishment is something completely different that you cannot also imagine. Yes, the hadith it talks about it, it has the fire, it has this and that, but this is just a way to bring it close to our mind, to understand it. Because what is in the hereafter is something different. You know, the fire of a human being that the human being is able to make, probably you can imagine when there's some huge big fire, or the fire of a bomb or something, it's huge. But that's made by human. The fire that made by the one who made the human is completely different. But we just bring in the idea a little bit closer. Anyway, let me just start this and try to close it, subhanAllah. And I would say, the Jannah and Nar, there is a very beautiful book, but actually it's not translated to English. It's a book of Imam Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyya rahimahullah called Hadi al-Arwah fi Bilad al-Afrah. So you see the guidance of al-Arwah, of the souls on the places of the joy and happiness. He did actually describe especially the Jannah, and he described every details about the Jannah. The places, the names, the levels, even the ground, even what the people will eat, even the people what they will do, and so on, so on, so on. I will close over here. Astaghfirullah wa jami'al mu'mineen. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. If you have any comments or questions?
The same as the social life in how we know it here in Estonia, or is it different?
What do you mean social life?
Like, you know, everybody greeting each other, going to people's house, or brothers hanging out.
Yes, it is actually described in the Jannah that the people, like the ayat Qur'aniyah described that. For example, it mentioned that the people, they will be there with the people that they love, with their brothers, with their sisters, with their wives, with their husbands, and so on. So they will say, وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ يَدْخُلُونَ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنْ كُلِّ بَابٍ. The angels, they will be visiting them, and they will be visiting each other. And there's a hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam also mentioned about that about a Sahabi. Even the name is not very well mentioned in the hadith, but this Sahabi, actually he came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said to him this. He said that I really love you so much. Just look at this. Say, and whenever I am home, I just, remember I come to see you. I cannot wait. That's how much love. Then he said to him, but today I was home. Then I remembered and I said to myself that Rasulullah will be in Jannah, and inshallah I will be in Jannah. He's a Sahabi. But he said, but I'm not going to be able to be at your level. You will be in A'la Aliyin, in the Firdaus, and I will be probably in the first heaven. So he said, from now I feel that I'm going to miss you. I'm not going to be able to see you whenever I want. Now I'm home, I just come knock the door and ask to see you, but there I cannot see you. So he felt that he would miss Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in there. See, this is how much. So Rasulullah didn't have a word to say to him, but he was waiting until the wahy was revealed to him. Like we know, in huwa illa wahyun yuha, doesn't say things from his own. And the ayah was, وَمَنْ يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَالرَّسُولِ, and whoever obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his Rasul, فَأُولَٰئِكَ, these people definitely will be مَعَ النَّبِيِّينَ وَالشُّهَدَاءِ وَالصِّدِّيقِينَ وَحَسُنَ أُولَٰئِكَ رَفِيقًا. These people, they will be what? With who? With the Nabiyin, with the Siddiqeen, with the Shuhada, with the Salihin. Such a good company. The Sahaba said, with that ayah, we were never so happy with an ayah like that ayah. Because we know, oh, okay, in the hereafter, probably our good deeds were not going to be that. But because of our love and our obedience to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we will be with him. So we can see him, we can talk to him. And imagine that if in Jannah you are going to be the neighbor of Abu Bakr or Umar, or Aisha or Khadija, and these beautiful people that you heard about. Subhanallah. Inshallah. Finish now.
Any other questions?
It could be a comment. That's fine. Yes. I can hear you very well.
One of the sisters has a question.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what Sijin?
Do I know?
Yeah, what's the meaning of
Sijin. Okay, Sijin, it's a level, I would say, darak, in Jahannam. In Jahannam. Okay. The description of Sijil, what is it? It tells us exactly what they will be eating, what they will be drinking. And in the Quran it says that they will be thirsty, so they will ask for water. So the water will be كالمهل يشوي الوجوه. So they will be given this water, but the water will burn their faces. قطع أمعاءهم. It will cut their stomach and all that. So this is just a level that describes Sijil. Okay? You should know about it. Yes.
You said after you described like the whole how like the believer and the non-believer, how they will go through the process of going to the heaven or and coming back down to it. So after that whole process, what is it? Do they just wait? Do they wait on the day of judgment?
Okay. After that, when a person is in the grave, like you said, this is the first qiyamah. So any person who is in the grave, that is only the body of a human, and the body does not feel any pain, right? It is actually the soul. So the soul will be taken to a place called al-barzakh. This is now a knowledge of the unseen that we don't know that much about it, right? Right? So this is the ilm al-ghayb. Barzakh is the place where all the souls are. In the barzakh, it is heaven and nar. And that's the hadith of Rasulullah where he said that any person, once he died, his qabr will be either rawdatun min riyad al-jannah aw hufratun min hufar jahannam. So the grave of a person, probably when you pass by, you see just a qabr, right? Probably it could be built in a beautiful way or in such a way. But the person inside, he is either enjoying it just like he in Jannah, or he is being punished continuously just like he is in the hellfire.
Till the day of judgment.
I'm sorry?
Until the day
of judgment. So the adab of qabr, it is, with all the hadith, it does mention. And actually there's a hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he was passing by, and then he passed by two qabrs, two graves, and he said, إِنَّهُمَا لَا يُعَذَّبَانِ وَمَا يُعَذَّبَانِ فِي كَثِيرٍ. So he said, definitely they are being punished, and they are being punished for certain reasons, not something big. فَأَمَّا أَحَدُهُمَا فَكَانَ لَا يَسْتَبْرِئُ مِنَ الْبَوْلِ وَأَمَّا الثَّانِي فَكَانَ يَمْشِي بِالنَّمِيمَةِ. One of them, you know what he used to do? He used not to do his cleaning. He was not clean. He goes, he used the bathroom, but he doesn't wash himself properly. And the angel don't like it. So he's being punished for that. And the other one, كَانَ يَمْشِي بِالنَّمِيمَةِ. What he does, he will always go to the people and spreading rumors. Say like, if your name Muhammad, Muhammad said this and that, and go to the other person and person. So this person, they will be definitely punished in the qabr, continuously, non-stop. And there are so many hadith that talks about that yes, there is adab al-qabr. And that's why the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it says that in every single prayer he used to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about to put out to becoming adab al-qabr, fitnat al-mahya, fitnat al-mamat, fitnat al-masih al-dajjal. So he will always ask Allah, Allah protect me from the punishment of the qabr.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Not you said that those two, like someone might be suffering in the grave and someone might be, resting peacefully in the grave.
Right.
Is it determined that the person who's suffering in the grave is going to go to hell, and is it determined that the person that's resting in the grave is going to go to heaven?
Correct.
It's already determined?
Correct, yes. Actually, from the very first day, once the person died, he will realize that this is his place. Either it's going to be theirs or that. But you may ask the other question, say, if you already know, once you will be raised again, you will forget about everything. You're not going to remember anything. You understand what I'm saying? Once a person dies, he will know his qiyamah. He will know he's going to be where, right? And he will either be this place or the other place. So you may ask the question that if that's the case, so how are you talking about the hisab and the iqab, right? That will come after. I would say once the person will be raised back, he's not going to remember anything from the qabr. So we'll start from fresh. We'll start from, and that's why the hadith it talks about it, and even the Quran it says when a person comes back on the day of judgment, we'll ask him, "Come labit, how long you stayed?" He probably stayed for a day or half a day. So he's not going to feel that he stayed for thousands and thousands of years. Even like Adam alayhi salam, now if he comes back, we'll ask him, probably he stayed for a day or because when a person died, it's just like he's sleeping, just like he's sleeping. So
day of judgment, we're going to be like we're just there for like a day or something.
I'm sorry?
On the day of judgment, when we're asked how long we were there, we're going to be like a day.
You're not going to know how long you stayed in the qabr. Nobody will know.
Oh,
Yes.
if somebody's in the lowest level of Jannah and the Prophet will be at the top, so would there be remorse or like unhappiness from that person, like he would regret it, like not be happy in that level or something? Because not this is the Prophet.
No, it's not. It's not in that sense. No. Actually, the people of Jannah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned about them and He say, they will not feel any pain, they will not feel any sorrow, they will not. So a person who is in the first level, he is going to think that this is the best thing that could be. And nothing is better than that. Nothing. And the second level the same, and so on, so on, so on, so. So nobody will have that feeling that, this is better and this is better and this is, no, you're not. But of course, it is much better. We know that. But inside, because Allah promised that the people of Jannah, they're not going to have that feeling at all, that feel that something is missing or something is minus. No, you feel just like you are, I just give an example of a human being, in our life right now. Probably, let's say, if you go to some poor country, right? And then the richest people at that place that they are having some very beautiful life. They're not going to feel bad because they don't know what's happening in some other countries and how the people are living. Some, they have their own airplanes and so on. They don't know about that. So, and this is just at the human level. So when it comes to the ilm, like the unseen, it's completely different. Nobody will feel that in the Jannah because Allah promised that. Yes. I can hear you. You feel bored in Jannah. Very good. You see, no, it's a very good question. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran about this also. And then He said that the people in Jannah, they're not going to feel thirsty. They're not going to feel hungry. They're not going to feel the pain. They're not going to feel sleepy. They nothing. In the same thing, they're not going to feel bored. Because who created this feeling inside of you? It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So those feelings, you're not going to have them. Okay? Even the food, it says when you eat the food, you're never going to feel that your stomach is full. You keep eating, but you're not going to feel thirsty. But you do have also feeling the pleasure of eating and drinking and so. People don't use the bathroom in the Jannah. There's no such thing. Subhanallah. So there's a lot of things. And people don't get old. They don't get angry. Don't get tired. So the Jannah is something different. That's why you say when we talk about Jannah, no, it's something different. That's why we said in the beginning of the hadith, فِيهَا مَا لَا عَيْنٌ رَأَتْ. We don't know. But Allah promises Jannah is something unique. You cannot know what is it. It's so beautiful. May Allah make us a man.
I also heard there's a day, Friday, you'll meet at a market and people from all the levels of Jannah will be there. So just because you won't be able to see them every day, you can see them on Fridays in that market. Is that true?
I would not say it's not true or if it's true. There are a lot of ahadith that talks about that matter, but the thing also that there is a lot of ahadith that are not authentic. And when it comes to this ghaybiyat, if the word does not come from the mouth of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you cannot take it. It's something ghaybi, unseen, tawqifi we say. If it's not coming through the Prophet, how you would know? No. So yes, I also read some stories like that, but these are not real. But it could be. Allah will make it. Yes.
When we die, we will be with our families after we go to Jannah. Do we stay with our own family that we had in our actual life, or do we get new family?
Yes. Yeah, it is. Actually, the Quran mentioned that about that the people will be with their families, but if you don't like somebody from your family, you may not be with that person. Anyway, yes, actually, even the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ mentioned about every husband and wife, they will be together in the hereafter. The question will be, if the man is going to this place and the woman is going to another place, how they are going to be? No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not. A good person will not be with a bad person in that hereafter. But yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will. And there's another thing which is very important also, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not give you that feeling that you are missing somebody. So you will be with the people that you love. And that's why the hadith, like I mentioned before, it says, Al-mar'u ma'a man ahab. You definitely will be in Jannah with the people that you love. So you're not going to miss anybody at all. You definitely will be with the people that you're going to love. And that also there's a shafa'ah. Some of your family, they could have shafa'ah for you, to bring you to Jannah, to bring you to a higher level. That's also possible. Subhanallah. And there's a hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioning that somebody already died. Okay, so he knew his level in Jannah. It was, let's say, first level. So After they did all the counting and then, okay, this is your good deeds, so this is your level. So after a while, the angel came to him and said, oh, you are going to take you to a higher level. He said, how is that possible? Because I'm already died, there's no good deed. He said, هذا بفضل دعائي ولدك. This is what the reward of your son is making dua for you. So when a person died, still there will be some good deeds going to his account from a sadaqah jariyah that he did, give a sadaqah bint the masjid, or he has a good son or daughter, and continuously they are making dua on his name, inshallah.
Let's say a woman has been widowed like 5 times. She needs a 5 person.
Very good question. No, very good question. Actually, she will be with the person that she loved the most among them, or the person that you will be at her level. So the 5 husbands, let's say, or 10 husbands even. So if you put all of them, they're not going to be all in the same stairs. They're not going to be all in the same place. And then who is closer to her, right? Whose chemistry is more, will fit with her. And then if you ask her which one among all this one you choose, so she may be say this one, so she will be with that person, inshallah. Yes.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure also.
No, but I heard that even after even all the people that will be in hellfire, there will be a time where Allah will just take those people and He will put them in Jannah too.
That's correct. That's correct. There will be some people that they will be facing the hellfire, and they will be punished. Then they will be forgiven. Okay, because look, every deeds or every good deed or every bad deed, it has a level or a value. So some people did this, so they're supposed to be punished for that, and then they will be forgiven, right? They will be going to the Jannah. But who would like to be in that? Who would like to go to the hellfire first and get burned? Sometimes you just want to go and see a movie, right? And they say the movie will start at 2 o'clock. Oh, you have to wait, and you have to probably have 2:15. I can wait. Imagine Jannah will go in there, and so it is. Look, just like if you turn on the oven, you cannot put your finger even for 5 seconds, 10 seconds. No. So imagine you say you're going to the hellfire, get burned, get punished with this, that, and you don't know if you are going. When are you going to be, forgiven? It will take probably years or centuries. You don't know how is that. So, Hadith says, "Ittaqu an-nar walau bishiqqi tamra." Try to save yourself from the hellfire, even like with a piece of date that you may give to somebody, subhanAllah. They also say, فَمَنْ زُحْزِحَ عَنِ النَّارِ وَأُدْخِلَ الْجَنَّةَ فَقَدْ فَازَ. A person that you will be removed from hellfire and the Jannah, that is the successful person, inshallah.
Okay, I have one more question. It's just, there's a lot of, misconception or conception. Like, I know a lot of families, like this is including people in my family, where if their son or, the father is a hafiz, they feel like, their sin would really be counted towards, a good or bad, because the fact that their child or their father will be taken to Jannah with the Quran that they memorize.
It is correct that it says in the hadith that a hafiz, the person who memorized the Quran, but it's not only the memorization of the Quran. The hadith, if you read the whole hadith, say فَأَحَلَّ حَرَامَهُ وَأَحَلَّ حَلَالَهُ وَحَرَّمَ حَرَامَهُ. That person, he will memorize the Quran, and then he will act upon the Quran, right? So that person, he will be given this chance to have the shafa'ah of 10 of his family, right? But not anybody, if there's some criteria. Because, okay, let's say, just give you an example. Someone who killed, committing this kind of crime, taking the soul of a person, this person cannot be forgiven. Even the hadiths and the ayat talk about this matter. That a person who killed a nafs, bari'ah, innocent, that person will be in Jahannam khalidan fiha. He will be eternal. Even probably he is a Muslim, but he will be staying there forever. So the shafa'ah in that is not going to help. Because I mentioned before, I said, even the shafa'ah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam will not be granted to everybody. Some people will not deserve it. And the angels will push them. No, you don't deserve it. No, you're not from his ummah. So yes, the people has to have something that, yes, he will be granted the shafa'ah of the hafiz of Quran, inshallah. But again, even if you say hafiz of Quran, do you think that hafiz Quran is definitely going to Jannah? No. only people that we know for sure that they are going to Jannah are the people that Rasulullah mentioned. Like the عشرة المبشرين الجنة أبو بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي وطلحة والزبير وسعد بن أبي وقاص وأبو عبيدة وسعيد بن زيد, and then Quran mentioned other الحسن والحسين سيد أهل الجنة وفاطمة سيدة نساء الجنة. So we know, and the people of Badr and the people that did the bay'ah of Ridwan, لقد رضي الله عن المؤمنين إذ يبايعونك تحت الشجرة. So we know all these Sahaba are going to be in Jannah. Anybody else? No, you don't know. Even if you see him praying 24/7, that's not guaranteed that he will be in Jannah. Because a person, like the hadith says, قد يعمل بعمل أهل الجنة. You will be doing the doing of Ahlul Jannah until the last moment, and you will be doing something else, and then you will be going to the hellfire. And there is actually the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in one of these battles that a person was fighting so good that all the people do, wow, look at him. So Rasulullah, he looked at him and said, إِنَّهُ مِنْ أَهْلِ النَّارِ. He is from the people of fire. All the Sahaba, they were just like, hey, what he's saying, look what he's doing. So, but one of them, subhanAllah, one of the Sahaba, he was waiting until the battle finished. So he went, and then he saw that man. After he finished, he got injured. So, and he couldn't be patient. So what he did, he took the sword and he killed himself. The hadith says very clear that anyone killing himself cannot smell the smell of Jannah. So he says, Sadaqa Rasulullah. Rasulullah said the truth. Because you see what that person did? It was probably good, very good, and everybody was amazed. But then his ending was a bad ending. So that's why even Rasulullah always used to say, Allahumma inni as'aluka husna al-khatimah. Oh Allah, give me a good ending, inshallah. We'll end this, inshallah, right? Okay, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
All right, brothers and sisters, just remind you guys, they're often sponsored.